Hi guys! So this video I'm going to cover something that's a little bit old. I'm going to cover No Man's Sky. Well, it's kind of a little bit old. We get a lot of updates on this game. It's still being updated and still amazing. Well, actually I say still amazing. It used to be pretty shitty. But it's actually pretty fucking good now. I'll tell you, it's a good game. This is the game that really got me into VR. I don't know, the high prices stuff put me off in the past. A whole lot of shit like I didn't know you could get a Quest 2 for a song and dance. I ended up getting an Index eventually. I love my Index. I don't regret buying it. But boy, a Quest 2 is a lot cheaper and even some ways even more capable, and some ways less. It's a trade-off with these devices. But anyway, that's not what this is about. This is about No Man's Sky in VR. No Man's Sky is awesome in VR. It is really the way to play this game. I mean, the whole thing about No Man's Sky is you're exploring these new worlds, seeing these things, some crazy stuff, and that is so much more compelling in VR. You'll never get an experience like that playing on a flat screen. Just never. It's just not going to be as good. In VR, it is so much more real and so much more exciting to experience. Yeah, that's how to play this game. However, I found out pretty quick that No Man's Sky is not really a game for VR newbies. And a lot of the actual controls are not obvious, and as far as I could ever find, they're not really explained anywhere what they actually are. I had to do a lot of Googling and searching in Steam to find out how do you do shit. And yeah, it's quite a lot of confusion. So I'm going to actually go and I'm going to cover all those basic controls. And you'll be able to play the game just normally. And there's a couple minor differences between playing in Pancake and playing in VR, which I'm going to go into. There's not many. There's one significant one that stands out, and I'll tell you how to sort of get around that. But yeah, let's check it out. If you've never played No Man's Sky, take a look at what it's like in VR. Forget the Pancake stuff. This is a VR channel. We're all about VR here, obviously. But yeah, No Man's Sky is definitely one of the best VR experiences. But, there's a pretty significant but. This game requires a good PC. Mine is about the minimum. It does it. It's fun. But holy shit. If you have a 3090, you're okay. Yeah, there's not a lot of people playing No Man's Sky at 144 hertz, let's just say that. This game runs like shit in VR. Yeah. But nonetheless, it's so good, I just put up with it. So anyway, yeah, let's get to it. Okay guys, welcome to No Man's Sky. Just as a bit of a crazy thing, I thought I'd actually also try out Virtual Desktop's latest version, even though it actually kind of makes no sense to play No Man's Sky wirelessly since it's a seated game. I actually just haven't had a chance to actually use it yet, so I thought I'd see if that visual sharpening actually was working alright. And my instinct is that I have no idea, because No Man's Sky is the worst running VR game. No game runs worse than No Man's Sky in VR. My system is not really powerful enough to play this. You don't even want to know how bad this FPS is. You better have a bloody awesome computer to play this game in VR. Or a high tolerance for nausea, which is my chosen path. Yeah. You know, that's the thing about this game, is it got me into VR, but it was a rough start. I got so sick when I first started, and a lot of it's because of this goddamn game. But I don't ever regret it, not for 1 second. Yeah. Cool, right? Now, remember those gauntlets in Legendary Tales? If those were pink, that would be these. Just saying. Anyway. They take place in the same universe. That's proof. Alright. You know, here's something. Look at this giant fucking mushroom. Dude, what the hell? If you had a good computer, that would look so amazing. But even so, there's something awe-inspiring about the scale of things in No Man's Sky. When you look up at your Starship for the first time and you realize that shit's big. Look at the size of this goddamn thing. Look, here's a rotating part. What? And then things open up and oh, it's so cool. Here, look at this thing. Hey you. You're weird looking. Yeah, you're weird looking. Run away. Now, you probably also noticed, I'm playing with my Oculus and virtual desktop. I sort of addressed that. This would be a game you'd use your link cable for, and it would actually look quite a bit better. Although the sharpening probably is working, this game just doesn't have the graphics settings right now on my computer to really take advantage of it, so it's not a fair run. But that said, virtual desktop seems to be doing a good job of keeping the game running as well as this game can. So those are a few caveats. Now, what makes No Man's Sky a really rough game to get into VR with is that it actually does not have good comfort settings. They're there, but there's a little problem, and we'll get into it shortly. But, yeah, this is a really rough first starter game for VR, but it's the one that captured my imagination and got me into this. So I toughed through it because it was worth it, and that's all there's to say about it. It was worth it. This is my beta base. It is pretty crappy. If I'm being honest with you, it sucks pretty bad. Yep, this is really not that cool. But that's not what we're here to show off, but you know, I'm not very good at base building. I don't have that artistic gene. That sucks. But you know, it is what it is. Look at the size of that fucking thing. Huh? Alright, good. This thing's around. Actually, another reason I'm playing with my Oculus instead of my Index, which I generally prefer to use for the most part, even though I absolutely love the Quest 2. Here's an example of why. With the base stations located where they are in my apartment, right in front of my desk is... Am I even facing the right way? Right in front of my desk is actually in sort of the very edge of my base station's view. So I'd have my controllers drift in and out the whole time. Not a problem on your Quest. But like, and not only that, the play space, it's like right at the edge of it, and it's a pain in the ass to redraw it in Steam. But switching to seated mode and back on the Oculus is actually pretty damn trivial. It's a lot quicker and easier to set up your guardian barriers. You know, it just says, hey, you're out of it, you want to set something new? I was like, yeah, seated mode. And there we are. Right? Now I'm just nice and safe in seated mode. So that's a nice thing about the Quest, is the guardian system is infinitely better than the play space you get from Valve. Although Valve is perfectly functional, it really is. The Guardian's better. So there's a couple things about this game. Yeah, that I should really get into. And a couple of things that are just oddly a little bit half done. Don't let that dissuade you from trying this game in VR, because you'll love it. And you can totally enjoy every aspect of this game in VR, and you'll enjoy it way more than if you were playing on a goddamn pancake. Okay, I have no doubt of that. But there's gotchas. A big one right off is everybody knows the sort of melee boost jump you can do to quickly travel. Bummer dudes, doesn't work in VR. That was a bug that players liked, so they never fixed it. But in the VR versions of the game, they just never put them in. They didn't recreate the bug. So that means the rocket boots are the way to do that. So until you have access to rocket boots, there's actually no way for quick, convenient travel. But once you have rocket boots, you can get around it just fine. These weird things. You're a weird looking thing. Okay. You can still go fast. Anyway, rocket boots only make sense to use in VR. Yep, it's the way it is. Okay. So let's move on to some other stuff. You're gonna need to shoot things, right? That's just part of the experience in No Man's Sky. It's blowing holes in things, or mining things, or doing whatever shit that you might want to do. You know what? I'm gonna come back to that. Let's go to the menu. That is the what effing button is that? Y. One thing I love about the Quest is they were smart enough not to name the buttons the same thing on both hands. I don't know why Valve did that. They have A and B on left and right hands. That's fucking dumb. It's confusing, right? Now you have to right A and right B. That's stupid. Just have X and Y on one of them. So Y opens up your menu. Now I'm going to quickly verify I'm not lying to you. There we are. B is your rockets, by the way. You'd figure that part out pretty obviously. Like Y is your menu. These are the easy controls, the button controls. But one thing that's a bit less option. Here we go. Movement. It needs to be world relative. They give you a ton of options. You can also show your body in VR if you kind of like. Right? That's pretty sweet. I always find it a bit disorientating because I'm sitting. It doesn't look like I'm sitting. I know, dudes. Whatever. It's up to you. That's just an option for you if you like. It does have it. But world relative, otherwise, you can't swim. And you're like, wait, that doesn't make sense. There's no way to go down. See, what world relative does is it ends up using your left hand for your direction of movement, independent of your head. Right? Now, that's a bit unusual to get used to, but it's actually fine. But otherwise, you'll just bob on the surface forever. There'll be no way for you to actually, and just looking down, your character will look down, but they won't go down. They'll just bob on the surface. So unless you have it like this, there's actually no way to swim. There's, at least not that I've ever found, or as far as I know, anyone else has ever found. So that's one thing right off the start. If it's not your favorite way to navigate in the world, too bad. Yeah. Now, as far as, so that's one thing right off. Or just don't go in the water. But frankly, you sometimes want it. I mean, at some point to get like the submarine and shit, you're gonna need to. Right, some other things. Yeah, let's get into it. Now, we're all pretty familiar with drawing a gun. I kind of would have liked for a pistol holster on the side, but no, it's a shoulder holster. Pretty cool. Then you have a menu on the back here where you can do your scan. Right, there's some goodies all around. That's always fun. And come on. Change your weapon modes to flame manipulator, your blaster. Right? You can reload it. Here's one thing that is a bug, at least as far as I know, and I don't really know a way around it. This one's a bit more irritating and harder to live with, unfortunately. As you can see, this is set to the suicide weapon, the plasma grenade launcher. Well, it's always nice to be able to just blow the shit out of someone with your A button. That thing is gonna get you. Hey, it's out of phosphates. That thing is gonna get you dead. Sure enough, that grenade launcher is the #1 cause of death. Even worse, I was a fucking lunatic, and I upgraded the shit out of it. That is dangerous as shit. There's no way anyone should ever be using something like that. You motherfuckers. Oh, you guys are probably safe. Yeah, well, if you were anywhere near that, they would have been blown to smithereens. They've been reduced to atoms. Anyway, I shouldn't kill the animals. They're just minding their own business. Don't do silly things like accidentally press A when you mean to press B. Oh, I'm going to jetpack somewhere, and then find what you actually meant was drop an extremely instantly lethal high-powered plasma grenade at your feet and kill yourself. Easy to fucking do. Happens hundreds of times a day to poor No Man's Sky players. So you're thinking, alright, better keep it on the force field. That's good thinking. And that's how you do that. Only, you just saw me do it, and nothing fucking happened. What if we push it? And nope. 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 And there it went. Why? I don't know. Hey, it's nighttime. Here's something cool. Flashlight on your wrist. I think that's pretty neat and really actually... Oops, I just actually hit my desk. Quite immersive when you're actually exploring like a dark cave or something. It's really cool. This game is very immersive in VR. I absolutely love this game in VR. I wish I could run it at higher settings, but someday. Here's important to know. Now that we have that deadly grenade launcher put away, the shield. Now, the shield works exactly like it does in the pancake version, of course, with the exception, really, well, not really exception, but the notable difference is, remember, it will appear directly in front of you. So if you rotate your body, your shield is not in front of you. So always be sure to not rotate your physical self. Just use the in-game rotation. Otherwise, yeah. I know there are mods that can actually convert this to more room scale, and I played with them, but at the time I did, a little while ago to be fair, there was no solution for the shield fix. So that's a bummer. But that might have changed, but I don't know. So that is something to be aware of, that if it's a seated game, just stare at your monitor like a weirdo, and make sure you keep your shields facing the right direction, otherwise you will look stupid. Here's something cool. Scanning, give your left ear a squeeze. I wouldn't have guessed that ever for scan mode, but that's how you do it. So you can put your gun away, right shoulder, scanning, pulls it out, actually it just instantly appears, and now you're in scan mode. So let's... Alright, well, let's get into that later. But, so you can scan. And there was like a mushroom or something I hadn't. There we go, analyze. So, see, it works. Exactly, speeds, you point at whatever you want, you pull your scan trigger. It's actually pretty neat, right? It's quite, it's cool. Yeah, it's a lot more fun scanning like this than it is in the pancake version. Don't ask, well, you get to act like you're shooting something, but you're not being a psycho and murdering innocent animals. Yeah. Alright. There's different scan modes. This one is super annoying on the index. I fucking hate it when game developers do this. They put something on the grip other than fucking gripping something. Because whenever you pull the trigger, you naturally squeeze a bit, right? That's why there's such a thing as a grip safety on a 1911, you stupid fox. Anyway, No Man's Sky guys committed that exact same fucking crime by having the grip button do something other than grip. So, that grip on your gun hand changes between your scan modes. So it's grip to go one direction and A to go the other. That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. I don't like that. But whatever. It is what it is, and I guess you get used to it and you're playing it long enough. So, about the comfort settings. This does have the nice things like snap turning, which I personally like snap turning. Someday I'm going to stop using it, but for now I still kind of like it. They do have teleport to move. And so if you think, okay, so how bad could this be as a newbie game if you got snap turning and teleport to move? That's pretty much everything, isn't it? No, because none of that applies to vehicles or your spaceship. And let me tell you something, my lads and lovelies. When you're new to VR and you're flying around in a goddamn spaceship, your stomach will be doing fucking cartwheels. I'm gonna show you. Oh yeah, I probably should show that. Well, here's the cockpit of my rather nice Starship. It is a semi-interactive cockpit. I believe you grab these and you push outward. It varies per ship though, okay? To interact with items like your Starship or the vehicle, just about anything, you do the sort of odd motion that works pretty well. So you reach out, grab with your left, and pull it towards you. It's unusual, but it works just fine, and you get used to it. There we go, no problem. A really cool thing I love about No Man's Sky is the cockpits are complete in reality. In Pancake, you're just staring forward like this, but actually, you've got a whole Starship here. Look at that. All this stuff. Yeah. All this wacky stuff for you to look at. It's cool. You can look over the edge when you're flying. I'm going to do that. Here's your throttle. Here's your joystick. Here we are. Now we're flying. Now, when I was new to VR, holy shit, there's like fireballs coming down. Okay, that's something. This kind of shit, oh, let me tell ya, my stomach was spinning. I had to stop and lay down. I was just like, oh God, why is this happening to me? It was but you know, I couldn't stop playing. Because No Man's Sky is just that good. Ooh, yeah. And, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a lot of fun. Obviously, now, when your hands are free, when you're grabbing this button, the trigger will fire. A bit unusual to change your weapons. It's up on the left while you're gripping the joystick. So if you just push up on your left while you're doing, like, up on the joystick, your thumbstick, I should say, doesn't do anything, but when you're holding the joystick, you can press left to switch between your Quadroton ejectors and your infra whatevers, and your plasma cannon that I wish you could remove, but you can't. Throttle is pretty obvious, right? It's a throttle. I mean, whoa, shit. Hey, what was that? See, this is a cool thing you can't do in Pancake. Look out the goddamn window at what's happening around you. You can't do that, can you, Pancakers? No, you can't. You're not as good as us. Alright. Yeah, that changing weapons took me a while to figure out. Hey, losers. Because there's no real indication that that's how it would work. And it doesn't work, in fact, if you're not holding down the joystick. That's going to confuse the shit out of me. Well, that's pulse engine. Well, let's go to space. Oh yeah, A is to land. Oh yeah, and I haven't actually played this in a couple of weeks, but left trigger is your boost. So let's go to space. Hold X to engage jump drive. That makes sense, doesn't it? Believe me, this kind of thing, if you are brand new to VR, flying around like this, holy shit, your stomach is gonna scream for mercy. But this game is fun as shit, so you're just gonna, you know, it's gonna have to put up with it. So X, as it says, to go to hyperjump. And you can just straight up chill. I wish more of this stuff did stuff. Like, I'm a nerd, whatever. Judge me all you want. You know, you'd think for a ship as fancy as this, they would have an anti-glare monitor. Here's the thing though, guys, it feels like you're flying a fucking spaceship. It's actually got really nice vibration in the controllers. When you're going down, you can feel the ship shaking. It's pretty neat. They did a good job of it. What the hell is that? Oh, it's a... Oh, there's a little trading post here. That's pretty cool. That I think I missed. Yeah, I actually did not land on that at all. Oh, screw that. That's not what we're here for. Whoa! I kind of jumped off on it. But there you go. There's another thing. Sort of interesting. Now, oh, to rotate is right thumbstick. Which, why would you want to do that? So you can look up at the ground as you're flying past. That's something else. It's actually, once you get used to this, it's actually a really nice way to like sort of surveil a planet. Even though it's a weird way for you to fly. You know what though? You really want to see what's going on. This is the way to do it. You fly upside down like a Chad. I'm serious, guys. It's fun as hell. I remember one time when I was new, I got caught up in this huge dogfight with sentinels. I was still too new, but I could not figure out how to get away. I wanted to summon my my freighter and just land on that between waves. Because they'd always chase me down. I couldn't get away from them. But if I could do that, I'd be fine. But I could not figure out how to summon my freighter. I could not do it. It seems like it should be obvious, but it wasn't. So I'm going to show you how to do that, because that really pissed me off. Why it's so inconsistent. There's a fair amount of inconsistency in these control schemes. Yeah. Okay, whoa. Let's not fly like a total asshole. And A. There we are. Aside from switching weapons, most of the controls are about what you'd expect for the most part, actually. But switching weapons is bizarrely strange. Thumbstick up while you're holding the joystick, and only while you're holding the joystick? That's strange. But either way, once you get used to it, you're like, yeah, okay. Next. Well, build menu. This actually all works pretty much as you'd expect. This actually is a little bit different since this is a new version. With the Frontiers update, we got a lot of wacky stuff here. But this actually does, to my knowledge, work as you'd expect. What's this here? Yeah, right. There you have it, and then you click. There's a wooden wall. Right. You know, they'll snap, and you can do all the usual stuff you would. It makes sense, and it's good. You know, that's not what we're doing here. Oh, this is new. X and Y to scale. Alright, we don't want to do that though. Left grip. And delete is A. So actually look, they've given you some pretty... Okay. Okay, that's actually not working at all. Build menu. Edit placed parts. Here's a placed part. I would like to delete it. Oh, A, I was pushing X. I'm stupid. Okay. I'll be sure to edit that out so nobody knows I'm stupid. Okay. Building is actually pretty straightforward. You're not going to have any trouble with that. They do give you lots of on-screen controls here, and they make it pretty obvious. You're not going to suffer, and they haven't fucked it up. Okay. Inventory. Inventory is a bit neat. This looks really shaky to you guys probably, but it's actually not bad. This all works exactly as you would expect. Pay attention to the tooltips. They are accurate, they are useful, they're good. that stuff just does work. I don't have to explain that basics to you. It's the weird motion controls that become a problem, or when there's a goddamn inconsistency, like with changing your weapons mode, or your secondary mode. Now, why that works the way it does, I have no idea, but it's infuriating. It's something you gotta be aware of. You can't switch in a hurry. Now, quick menu. Let's say we want to summon one of our beloved pets. Well, actually, that's not quite what we do. Quick menu. Pets. And let's summon Mibby. Oh, that's not Mibby. Here's Mibby. Hi, Mibby. Oh, we need to give you some pats. Yes. You're my favorite. Yay, Mibby. Screw you. I love Mibby. All right. That worked as about you'd expect. So I'm gonna Mibby. I'm going to yeah. So again, you click here, like. I want to summon you. I'd click here, and then you just place it and trigger. There. Don't know why. Hi, Munch. How are you doing? Oh, you're doing good, aren't you, buddy? Now, how do we... Oh, yeah. So, you... point where you want them to go with your hand, and then you go. And then push down on the right stick. Oh, don't go that way. So that's pretty sweet, huh? It makes sense, honestly. Fuck are those? Yeah, I forgot you guys existed here. Right, this planet's got some actually hostile fauna. Yeah. So, yeah, that's summoning creatures. And it makes sense. You click on it, you highlight where you want to put it. You click with your trigger again, and it summons. That makes perfectly good sense to me, doesn't it? How did you get off this thing? B. Okay. Alright, Munch. Yeah. You're feeling good? That's awesome. You are a lot scarier in VR, but I like that dancing. Here's the one that really is inconsistent and confused the shit out of me. So, summoning your equipment, that's just what it is, right? So you think to summon your freighter, let's say I want to summon... actually, I can't do that right now. I want to summon my Starship. It's right there, but obviously that's just what we're showing here, okay? So it's the exact same thing. Right? So you might logically think that's how you summon things. But not everything. What if you want to summon your freighter? This drove me insane trying to figure out. Right? Click. Where'd it go? Why is it way over there? That doesn't make any sense. Well, here's why. Summon vehicles. Then you look. You look to determine where you want it to summon, and then you click. Why on earth that is different, I do not know. And if you do it a little bit wrong, or you're not looking in a safe area, it just won't work. This is especially true in space. So you just won't be able to summon that, and you'll be sitting there fussing how to figure out how the F am I supposed to do that. You will lose your shit, and it will be extremely frustrating. Now, same with these guys. Here we go.
Incoming storm.
So, grab the steering wheel. One trigger makes you go forward, one makes you go back. Easy as could be. Now there's only first person, so oops, I should probably grab the steering wheel. grab the steering wheels while the sand is slow. Let's go away from it. There we are. And as usual, you can look around. Oops. This weather sucks. Oh shit. Mess with me. Ain't no punk bitch.
Storm clearing. Technology recharge.
Quick menu. Summon. Vehicles. Oh, let's go for the big robot. Come on, game. Okay, so neat. So your laser is I wouldn't say eye tracking, but head tracked. Okay, and yeah, and how do you even switch weapons again? Oh, switching weapons is the same as on your Starship. Although I can't seem to figure out where it says what my weapon configuration is. But yeah, you get it. Obviously, this one has slightly different controls. Because you press forward to get going. You press down on them. Right, and then side to side for rotating. Asshole. I knew you were thinking about eating me. One thing about this great mech is that it's so slow, it's really not that much fun. However, there's the jump booster. Then it actually becomes pretty fun. That's just B. Hello, visitor. I think that's a decent rundown. You know, you get an idea. The really only confusing thing is sometimes your target selection is determined by where you're looking, and other times it's determined by where you're pointing, and there's no real rhyme or reason to it. But for the most part, they're things you get used to, and experimenting with this game is definitely worth it. And even if your PC's not that good, well, I still have fun with it. Anyway, that's just me talking about No Man's Sky. I think I covered all the controls that are really confusing or aren't obvious. So that's probably enough. And I think you should probably, yeah, those are the worst ones to figure out. Is how to switch weapons in your Starship or in a vehicle, or how to summon your freighter without it acting strangely. Give you a quick tour of space. The space controls are really exactly what you expect. It wouldn't take you much experimentation with different buttons. As long as you remember, this is your scanning. Left grip switches between them, or left A switches back. And remember to be careful with your fucking plasma grenades, and that your shield will always appear directly on between your HUD, basically. So just be aware of that. Other than that, I think, hey, that's No Man's Sky's controls. It should be pretty good. Yeah. And then you're free to go and enjoy one of the really coolest VR games there is. Actually, I suppose real quick before I go, since we have to use rocket boots in VR, well, B is our regular jump, right? the boost is pretty dumb, and it does not really go off your arm. It just boosts you sort of straightforward. The rocket boots you use by double tapping B. But be careful. Again, that just boosts you directly forward. Your location of where you're pointing or looking does not affect it. It always puts you directly what the game considers to be forward. Actually, another thing, don't forget, unless you're in world relative and you point down with your left hand, your character will not actually dive down into the water. You'll just be stuck bobbing on the surface. I think that covers just about all the wacky sort of control inconsistencies of the game. So, that's it for now. And I'm going to say that virtual desktop looks pretty good. Although I'd have to try a game that actually put the graphics up a little bit more. Anyway guys, thanks for coming along. I hope that you'll give No Man's Sky VR a try. And if you have any questions about controls that are maybe not obvious as they should be in VR, let me know. I'm pretty sure I've got it all down pat. And that's it for now. See you guys later. Bye-bye. Oh, that's a cool looking ship. Red, black with that cool ring. Yeah, that looks cool. Alright, now I'm leaving. Bye-bye.